All right, yeah, as Eddie mentioned, we had a great class. Our coaching staff did a great job of hitting our needs, particularly in the offensive and defensive line. Thought we did a great job getting guys that were longer, taller, more size in there. Thought our defensive front seven recruiting was really good, particularly the linebacker positions. I think one of the best things that we did was being very patient in the recruiting process and hanging on and waiting until the last couple of weekends where we picked up some really key players that had fallen off some of the power conference schools. Thought our coaches did a great job of beating the bushes and finding those guys. A couple of people we'd really like to thank. Our faculty did a great job up here. When we brought recruits in for official visits, our faculty's been outstanding coming and talking with these guys. President Carruthers was here for every weekend. Mario Mocha, our athletic director, was here for every weekend talking with the recruits, and you don't get that many places where the president and the athletic director are at every event like that. And I know that made a big deal to our parents. We've got a great wow factor here now when you come in facility-wise. When you look at the field, the weight room, the beautiful campus, almost all the dormitories here are brand new. We have a lot of things that really surprise people when they come. We had 18 sets of parents that came on official weekends, and 16 of those kids committed to us, which means the parents are really impressed with this place when they come. And so can't thank those people enough. The restaurants that we use, St. Clair's, Cattle Baron, Sodexo up here worked with us, and that made a big impact on those guys. Our car dealers have been great with us. Bravo, Jack Keese, Sparrow, Danny Gamboa, those guys have worked with us and helped us quite a bit in the recruiting efforts also. So we're really thrilled about this class, and I know we've got a highlight to show. If anybody wants to ask questions during that, feel free. But we want to do that first, Eddie, and then have questions. All right. So.
Coach, and if you want to go ahead and talk about it
yeah.
as they're playing.
So we'll go ahead and start with the video, and then if you guys have questions while we go, we can do that. So go ahead, Alex. He will bring a lot of explosiveness here to our wide receiver corps. Certainly look forward to having OJ here. We actually have one of his teammates will be announced here later on, also defensive lineman. This guy is a big-time playmaker. Great run after the catch capabilities. Could be a dynamic kick returner for us also. You can see some of his ability here to make people miss. This guy's a tremendous player. Tyron Taylor. Tyron is a junior college transfer mid-year, so he is already here with us. He's in our winter conditioning program right now. Tyron will be going through spring practice, which will certainly give him a chance to make an immediate impact next year. He's a really good route runner. He's got great quickness, really good speed. We really think he's got great hands. He's one of those guys that's very reliable, and certainly got a great personality. You meet this young man, he's one of those guys that's really excited about being here at New Mexico State. Idaho was one of the other schools that really recruited Tyron heavily. Isaiah Lottie. Isaiah was in our camp, so we know a lot about this young man. We got the size and the speed and all those things, measurables, very accurately from our camp. One of the things I like about Isaiah, he is a wide receiver, but he spent a lot of his senior year playing running back, which shows a lot of toughness. When a wide receiver can go back there and play running back for the entire season, that says a lot about the young man. As you see right there, he can play very physical. He's a bigger wide receiver than what we've probably gotten here in the past, and I think he's one of those guys that can help us here early. Timon Lachlan. Timon is the son of our defensive line coach, Kerry Lachlan, and obviously New Mexico State fans know the Lachlan name has been a staple here for a long time. All the Lachlans have done well here, had great careers, gone on to play in the NFL. So a lot of pressure on Timon to keep that tradition going, but he's certainly going to help us. He is a gray shirt, so Timon is already enrolled in school here. He's going through our winter conditioning program. He will be in spring practice, which will also give him a chance to contribute early. And again, he's a guy that's got great size. He's over 6 feet tall. He's over 180 pounds already, and be a physical wide receiver for us. Isaiah McIntyre, really excited about getting a guy from Las Cruces here, and I know it meant a lot to Isaiah to be a hometown guy here. And all the guys from Las Cruces that have come here have had great careers and done well, and we're really excited about having Isaiah. You know, one thing about when you're a local guy and you stay in town, people talk about you for 4 or 5 years. If you're a local guy and you leave town, nobody cares. 2 days after signing a date, they never know your name again. So they'll know this guy for 4 or 5 years because he's going to be a playmaker here. Obviously got great speed, track guy. Brandyn Leonard, we like Brandyn as a running back, a little bit taller than the other running backs we've had. You can see he's got great running ability here, great eye lines. He sees holes, he can make people miss. But at 6 feet tall, we really think Brandyn has the ability to become a bigger back. He could be a 200-pound back here pretty quick. And obviously we've got quite a bit of depth in the backfield right now, so hopefully we can redshirt him and quite a few of these other freshmen for the first time. Sebastian Anderson, a big offensive lineman. The thing we like about the offensive lineman we got here again is the size. When you look at these guys, they're all 6'4" or better. We feel like we could redshirt all of the high school offensive linemen that we sign. So we give them to Coach Decker in our strength program for a year, and we're going to end up with some 300-pound, 6'5" offensive linemen here for the future. We return our entire offensive line from last year with the exception of Ume, so we don't have a whole lot of need there early. Anthony McMeans is a junior college transfer who is here now. We'll go through spring ball. The center position is the one place, losing Ume, that we did lose an offensive lineman, so this is a young man that's got a chance to come in here and play early for us. So having him in spring ball certainly will help. He's 320 pounds right now. He has a chance to be a really quality lineman for us. Brian Trujillo, in-state guy from Albuquerque. Brian was New Mexico tried to flip him at the end of recruiting. The last week they tried to jump in and get him to flip, and he wouldn't. He was committed to us for a long time. We're really excited about having another in-state guy that'll come here and have a successful career. He's got good feet, and we feel like, again, he's going to be a guy that's really going to grow. Tony Bello is already 6'4", 290, but this is another guy we'd like to redshirt, get him stronger, and then we feel like we'd have a real quality offensive tackle here for the future. Again, the length and the size of what we got in the offensive and the defensive line when that comes up, I think, is quite an improvement from what we've had here in the past. And Tony is one of 2 kids that we got from Colorado, Isaiah Lottie being the other. We're going to sign 3 tight ends in this class. Clayton Granch is a mid-year transfer, junior college. He was an academic All-American in junior college, so excited about getting Clayton here. He'll go through spring ball with us. As you can see, he's got great receiving skills. You can split him out as a wide receiver. He can line up in the backfield. He can play tight end. Very versatile. Bigger than the tight ends that we've had here the last couple of years. He's about 6'3", 245 right now. And we certainly think Clayton has a chance going through spring practice here to contribute early. The offense we're going to be running, the tight end, is a very vital position, so this is a really good get for us to get this young man here, and another really bright kid that can learn. Jackson Solbeck, again, 6'4", 235, probably weighs a little bit more than that. You can thank President Carruthers for getting this guy on campus. He did a great job with the mother when she was here, talking about our business school and those type of things, and that was a great sell to that family. But Jackson is a guy that can run, he can make plays, he catches the ball well, and obviously already at 6'4", 235, 240, he's going to be, at least 250 by the time we kick off next year, and certainly be a guy that we think can play early in his career here for us. Montrese Johns, same thing, 6'5", 245, so another big tight end, but watch the speed of this guy as he plays, because he runs as fast as most wide receivers. This was a great get that Coach Littlejohn found Montrese for us and did a great job recruiting him out of California. You see here he's going to run away from most of these defensive backs. And that's 245 pounds at 6'5", running away from people. So this is a really talented guy that we're really excited about. Fits perfectly in what we want to do offensively here. And again, you can see the speed and athletic ability and a big guy that's only going to get bigger and stronger. So he's going to have a great future ahead of him. We graduated both our tight ends last year, so this will be really key that we get these 3 guys ready to play. Parker Davidson, this is the 5th-ranked kicker in the nation. And whenever you're ranked in the top 5 in the nation, that's a pretty big deal. This is going to help us in a couple ways. Obviously, field goals, you get in field goal range, you hopefully have automatic points. But more than that, the coverage teams, when you look at kickoff coverage, which has been a little bit of an Achilles heel for us because of our kicker, now we have a guy that can kick this thing out the back of the end zone, takes a lot of pressure off your coverage teams. So we certainly look forward to having him here. Defensively, Two defensive backs in this class, Demarcus Owens. This is a young man that I know Coach Martin, our defensive back coach, feels like he can play corner or safety. So a guy that we could use in both. He's a little thicker than most of the DBs we've signed, a little bit stronger in his upper body. So again, really sure tackler, runs really well. And again, a guy that we feel like can play both positions. And we're going to need some depth in the defensive backfield. And here a year from now, we're going to graduate a couple of DBs, so we certainly need some young guys to play. Christian Gibson is a safety. Christian visited UTEP the week before he visited us. He visited us the last week, and we were able to beat them on this young man. So certainly that was a good get for us. You can see he's an excellent tackler, plays very physical, runs exceptionally well. And again, the size, being 6 feet, 6'1", good size for a DB. Cedric Wilcots, 6'5", 250. We signed a lot of defensive linemen last year, but we didn't get the length that we got this year. When you look at all the guys we signed in this class, 6'3" to 6'5" is a good improvement for us, and they can all still run. The guys we got last year really run extremely well. I think we got more length in this class. As you can see, he's very athletic. Jassavia Reese, same thing, 6'4". So again, the height is a big deal for us, and the length, 245. So this young man's going to be 260 before you know it, and you can see how quick he is off the football. And obviously playing out of Tyler, Texas, that's some great football down there. So we feel like both these guys can come in and help us early on. Most of our front seven guys on defense, we'll still need these guys to help us quite a bit. Garen Nash, this is the teammate of O.J. Clark, our wide receiver. Garen played the year at 250, so the weight's a little deceiving there. He's lost some weight because of basketball. He's a really good basketball player at Wichita Falls also, and we're certainly excited about having Garen here. He's got a lot of quickness, a lot of explosiveness. He can run, really bright young man, and having he and O.J. here together as teammates I think is going to be great. University of New Mexico tried to close on both these guys the last 2 weeks, and we hung on to both. Derek Watson, this young man has some Aggie relations to him. His mom and dad both played here at New Mexico State. His mom was a swimmer, and his dad was a football player here at New Mexico State. This is one of the first young men we've been able to beat North Texas on. Coach Laughlin did a great job recruiting this young man. North Texas is really hard to beat. He's from Denton, Texas, which is where North Texas is located, so great get for us there. 4 linebackers in this group. We got a lot of need at linebacker. Shane Jackson here is a really good player for us. We think a downhill linebacker, very physical, very good tackler, and they all run very well. We're still looking for linebackers that can run. Today's game is a space game with all the spread offenses and option offenses that you face, so you certainly have to have guys that can cover the field from sideline to sideline, as you see right here he can do. Jonathan Hood, same thing, 6 foot 205. This is another linebacker that runs exceptionally well. He's got great instincts, finds the ball, really sure tackler. So again, I would anticipate all 4 of these linebackers that you're going to see being able to help us this year. The big advantage is having all these guys come during the summer. Now in July, this whole class will be here just like last year's class, and Coach Decker gets a month to work with them. We get a month to work with them before we start. Javon Ferguson. Javon is a linebacker that's really intriguing. TCU was on Javon all the way to the end. We found him after an official visit to TCU. Again, Coach Laughlin did a great job finding Javon and recruiting him. He was one of our last weekend visits. We had 9 kids that came in the last weekend for official visits, and we got all 9 of those players that weekend. So that was a big way for us to close the recruiting session here. But you can see this young man's really strong, physical, runs extremely well, and certainly can hit. Really good player. Terrell Hanks, this is one that's special. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, linebacker out of Miami, Florida. Coach Littlejohn found Terrell and did a great job with him, and there's a wow factor with this guy when you watch how he's going to hit people here and at 6'4", 220, running down the field like this on the kickoff and what he's able to do. He could be a big linebacker. He plays some safety in college. This guy is a special player. We were very fortunate to get on him and very fortunate to get him. He was, again, a last weekend visit for us. But this guy's got a chance to be a guy that can impact our football program next year. for sure. Again, big hitter. When he tackles you, you're tackled. So that's our class.
Did you get any all your goals accomplished in this recruiting class?
Yeah, we really think we did. The place kicker was a big deal for us, and to get the 5th-ranked kicker in the nation, that was a huge deal. We wanted to get length in the offensive and defensive line. We got that. Linebackers was a key for us. We got that. I think we still managed to get some great speed, team speed for us, especially on defense. Again, was a big deal. So we addressed every need we had. The big deal for us is, the last 2 years we've been playing with 65 total scholarships, and you should be at 85. That's a big disadvantage for us. This class puts us back up to 80 scholarships for the first time in a long time around here. We've gotten our APR issues dealt with. We had a tremendous year in the classroom last semester. So this class really puts us in a competitive advantage with everybody else. So now it's just about winning football games.
Speaking of the competitive level within the team, how does that rise within the team with this recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, last year's class was an exceptional class, and when those freshmen came in, there was a lot of competition for jobs, and it's going to be even more competition now. Our freshmen that played last year, they better bring their A game, or these guys will beat them out. And that's what you want. You want to have competition, makes everybody better, and I think we certainly raised the talent level at New Mexico State dramatically in only 2 years. These are our first 2 recruiting classes, and I really love what we've been able to do recruiting, and we're starting to develop relationships, particularly in the state of Texas with the high school coaches and people there, and we're recruiting so heavily there that we're able to get a really good product.
You brought in some linebackers, Coach. How about the depth there at linebacker now with the ones you just brought in?
Yeah, the guys we brought in, we certainly will need depth in at the linebacker position going forward. We had to play a lot of freshmen last year. Derek Abekwe was a freshman. Dalton Harrington was a freshman. Rodney Butler was only a sophomore last year, so we were really young in the linebacker department. And we certainly need to keep getting, more mature and more athletic guys. Will Clement is a young man that we redshirted last year. We think is going to be a tremendous linebacker. But these guys, again, gives us a little more size, a little more range, and a lot more depth. And I think where those guys impact you is in special teams too. When you look at your coverage teams or special teams, punt team, all those type of things, that's where these guys become really important and where we've been a little bit deficient at times.
How about the offensive line, Coach? You brought some big boys there. You talked about length. Does that add a lot of depth to you? Do you feel some spots that you might have lost?
Yeah, I think, Eddie, we've got a lot of experience returning in the offensive line. So that was not an immediate need for us, but we wanted guys that we could redshirt for a year, give them to Coach Decker, let them get big and strong, and have something for the future. So that's one of the deals of our program getting healthier, that now we're able to bring kids in with the thought of redshirting them as opposed to playing them as true freshmen. So the high school offensive linemen coming in, we certainly believe we could redshirt all 3 of those. Anthony McMeans would be the one guy that we'd probably look at playing this year. But we're going to be a lot bigger and stronger in the offensive line than what we've been.
And speaking of size, you touched on a running back there that had some size. How does that help, Larry Rose and Xavier Hall?
Yeah, we need guys in there that can spell those guys at some point. I think we've got good depth in the backfield right now. Andrew Allen is another guy that we're going to use back in the backfield now as opposed to quarterback that he played last year. So we've got depth at that position. Brandyn Leonard is a guy that we'd really like to redshirt again and see if we can get him bigger and stronger. But if need be, he could play. I think he certainly gives us speed in the backfield. And I think the height factor there, again, is an advantage for us.
And then you brought in a lineman from Albuquerque. And you had mentioned earlier that UNM might have been after him?
Yeah, Brian Trujillo. At the end, UNM was trying to sway him and flip him over, and we were able to hang on to him. Coach McKeithen did a nice job recruiting up there. And, we've done a great job in the state. All the guys that have come here from New Mexico have found a good role playing here. And I know last year we lost 2 guys to UNM, and neither one of them are on UNM's roster now. So we're choosing the right guys. We're developing them when they get here. So if kids from this state want to do well, they come to New Mexico State, they always do well.
And then talking about another local McIntyre, and then we got Hall from Mayfield. What kind of, what does it bring for our team here for
Well, yeah, I think again, anytime you can get local guys here, that's big, and you know we've I think done a great job. Again, Coach McKeithen does a great job in the state of New Mexico for us identifying players and recruiting them. Isaiah McIntyre is a really intelligent young man. I think he's going to be a really good playmaker here. And the advantage about playing, if you're from Las Cruces and playing in Las Cruces, is you're playing in front of your home crowd, and that meant a lot to Isaiah. That should mean a lot to the people here that he wants to play for you. And you know, again, don't worry about the guys that don't come because you're never going to hear of them again. They're phantoms. We had a linebacker from New Mexico that we recruited and offered last year, and he left, and nobody even knows his name now. You know, and that's the way that is. We're worried about the ones that are coming, and people know Brandyn Betancourt. People know Xavier Hall. They know Matt Raimondo because those guys are from here in town, and they're going to know Isaiah. And for 4 or 5 years, he's going to have great support from this city, and you know, he wants to play for the people of this city. I think that's really important.
And then you talked about the 3 tight ends that came in. Are those the kind of guys that are going to help either Tyler Rogers or Andrew Allen, whoever it might be, you know, become better?
Yeah, you know, the tight end position is really important in the style of offense that I want to run. It's more important than what we had, the style we had last year. So that tight end is used in a lot of versatile ways. These 3 guys will all play. Sometimes they'll be on the field at the same times. One of them may be lined up as a fullback in the backfield. We may split them out at times, but the tight end position is really important for us. So to get these 3 guys as athletic as they are and the size that they have is going to be key. It's a good mix for Larry Rose and guys like that. You know, you get another body at the point of attack to spring Larry Rose and get him in the secondary, and we've all seen what he can do once he gets in the secondary. All right. Well, thank you all so much. We appreciate it.